So I was wanting to make a final review for Tokyo Ghoul Re, but then a little bit of news came out for Tokyo Ghoul today related to the ending of the manga of Tokyo Ghoul Re, and it kind of pushed those plans back for my final review. And the afterword from Ishida, lot of sad feelings. Like that's the first thing that comes to mind. Like I feel just straight up sad about the afterword that Ishida gave us in the final volume of Tokyo Ghoul Re that came out. So let's get into it. You probably could see by the title what this video is going to be about, but I want to relay my thoughts. So it's very apparent with the final arc. I kind of complained about it a few times, honestly, in my live reactions throughout, the final arc, and I talked about it on Twitter, and in my final live reaction, I talked about that the final arc felt different. It still was Tokyo Ghoul, but it felt very different from what I know, or what I knew and loved from the story. I didn't know if it was because I fell out of love with the series. I didn't know if it was because I just, didn't see, the same thing anymore. I didn't really know. It felt very weird. It felt very awkward while reading the final arc of Tokyo Ghoul. And now seeing the afterword that was a part of the final volume of Tokyo Ghoul Re come out, now I understand why I had those feelings. Now it makes a lot of sense. I'll have the afterword obviously linked in the description if you want to read it yourself. But to get right into it, basically Ishida, he became burnt out. I talked about this in my final live reaction, that's what it appeared to me. It appeared that he either was done with the series or he was burnt out or something, because the way it ended, obviously he wasn't being rushed, because the series was at an all-time high of sales and popularity, the anime and all of that. It just didn't make sense for him to be rushed by the magazine. So I knew for a fact that probably wasn't the reason. And so the only thing that most likely it could have been was something along the side of health issues, or he was just done. He was done with Tokyo Ghoul. He wanted to end it and do something else. That's what I assumed. And I was pretty on the, the dot with that, thought process, because the afterword basically lets us know that Ishida, he fell out of love with Tokyo Ghoul. Like, he no longer enjoyed writing the series. He didn't care about it. But at the same time, he wanted to finish it. And it really says a lot, not just about Tokyo Ghoul's ending and Ishida Sui as a writer, but it says a lot about the whole manga industry in general, and how manga authors are worked to the bone to the point to where they just are done. They either die of health issues, or their series goes on an indefinite hiatus to never return ever again. I've seen this time and time again throughout the years of me reading manga and doing reviews on YouTube. I've seen it happen so many times to where mangaka either die of health-related issues, or, they just overwork to the point to where they're just done. They don't want to work on it as much. Like, when you look at Togashi, he's a very perfect example of a mangaka, has a great story, a big fan base, a great anime series, but the manga chapters just don't come out as much anymore. And now looking at this, it's very similar. This happens all the time, and it just really shows that the workforce, or the, how work is done in Japan, it's honestly horrible in a way. And I just, reading the afterword of what Ishida said, it made me feel so sad, because I can't imagine how it must feel to be Ishida right now. Because imagine this, you breathe life into a series that you were super passionate about, you loved, and then as it continued, you no longer cared about it. You fell out of love because it started taking a heavy toll on your body. That's what Ishida says. His body, his actual real life body, started taking a heavy toll to where he wasn't being able to, have proper health. He was constantly having issues with his body, his health, to where he just wanted to take a break. But he knew if he took a break, he would probably never finish the series, which that is very similar to other mangaka in Japan. I mean, think about Togashi, with all the breaks he takes. This could be the reason, like, one of the big reasons why he takes breaks, because, Ishida was like, I know how it is, like, if I take a break, I'll be like all of them, I won't finish the series, and it's not because they don't want to, they don't want to finish it, it's just, they don't want to have to do that hellhole work anymore, like they've always been in, and I just feel incredibly sad about that. So, basically what it comes down to, with the final stretch of Tokyo Ghoul Re, is that Ishida, he lost his passion. he didn't want to do it anymore. He didn't have fun anymore. He honestly even asked himself, why am I even drawing? Sad. That's sad that he felt like that, because honestly, Tokyo Ghoul was one of my favorite series in recent years. It is honestly at almost the pinnacle of a masterpiece until the final stretch of Tokyo Ghoul Re came out. And it's very apparent that this was something that was ongoing for a while, because ever since the whole thing with Arima and Kaneki, the quality of the series did indeed kind of dropped a bit. And I noticed it. It was very noticeable. It's very subtle at first, but it got more and more noticeable as it went on, especially with how certain character arcs were rushed, like the whole stuff with Uta and, Yomo, to the stuff with Donato and, Almon, and then, the Mutsuki stuff. There was a lot of character arcs that were rushed. I mean, you have to not been paying attention not to notice something like that. And now seeing this information from Ishida himself, it makes a lot more sense now. He was done. But he didn't want to take a break, because if he did, it wouldn't get a conclusion. So he decided to just end it. In a way, I respect that. I respect Ishida for that. I really respect the man for, at the very least, concluding this series. It makes me think highly of him as a writer, just, at the very least, giving it a conclusion. At least ending it, for we don't have to always wonder, will it get another chapter? Which I'm not trying to put down Togashi or Kentaro from Berserk, or, the writer of Vagabond and all that are real. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying that, seeing how he finished it, it makes me happy, because that means that he could breathe easy. I mean, he even says that he feels free, like a free bird, and I'm like, holy crap, when, the symbolism from your series is actually relating to your real life status, I just like, oh my god. But yeah, that's the harsh, cold truth. Apparently, the reason why TG came to an end, like it did, it's not because he was rushed to end it, but Ishida was done. He just didn't want to do it anymore. Which, like I said, I respect that. I understand. He ended it on his terms, and he just didn't want to go on break. I do hope that this break he now has, now that he's not technically working, I do hope he takes a long break, and next time he decides to do a manga series, if he ever does do another manga series, I hope that he has it to where he's able to do it whenever he wants. For instance, it's either a monthly release or a bi-monthly. I just hope that the next series he does write, it doesn't stress him out as much as TG did. It honestly just puts in perspective of how sad it is that all those fan members on certain websites or social media that trashed him for what he did to Mutsuki and then the whole relationship with Kaneki and Toka. I really hope those individuals that, tried to shout so many threats at Ishida and all that realize that they were not helping this man. They were honestly breaking him down even more than he already was. It's just sad. Very sad way for the series to kind of go out, but guess we're going to have to live with it, because regardless of how we feel, it's a Ishida series at the end of the day. He had all rights to end it like he did, and yeah. This is definitely something that's going to make me reflect on, my final thoughts on the series when I do the review video, but yeah. That's something. Oh man. But yeah, I'm going to end this video here. I'm sorry to make such a sad video for Tokyo Ghoul, but it's hard to believe that Ishida didn't get a happy ending. Like, the manga got a happy ending, but Ishida didn't, when you think about it. He got a very miserable and depressed ending, because even though he fell in love with it, as a writer, writing a series like he did, and how much of a fan base he gained, for a fact that he probably feels bad, guilty in a way, or he will one day feel guilty that, the way he ended his series, how he might have let his fan base down. He might feel that way, and I feel bad for him, because he's probably going to go through a lot knowing how he ended his series. He might regret it in the future, or he might not. I don't know. I'm not Ishida, but it is how it is. Nothing we can do can change that. Ishida didn't get a happy ending, which that's how real life is. Happy endings don't normally happen. But at the very least, he ended it on his own terms. I guess that's the best thing you can get out of it. At least he'll be able to recover and get his health back up, and he won't be stressing out as much as he's been doing these past few years. 7 years, to be exact. But I want to end this video here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about this information about Ishida that came out for Tokyo Ghoul Re? Be honest in the comments below how you felt about it. I really want to know your thoughts, and I love you guys. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. And Ashita, I know you don't watch my videos. I know you probably never will. But if somehow there's a miracle out there and somehow you understand what I'm saying and you are watching this video, take as long as you need. If you don't ever write a manga chapter, it will honestly make me sad. But if it's for your health, the benefit of your life, then I understand. I just hope you have a great life, and just thank you for giving us a wonderful series like Tokyo Ghoul. Regardless of how its ending was, I had a lot of fun and happy times with the series, and it was definitely one of those series that holds a lot of meaning to me. Without it, I wouldn't be here right now. Like, for instance, I probably, this community, the Chibi community that we have, wouldn't be as big if it wasn't for TG. So I owe a lot to Ashita's writing, his skill as a mangaka, just him in general, and Tokyo Ghoul. I owe a lot, because definitely without that, I wouldn't be as big as I am right now. So I do appreciate that. But anyways, I'm going to end it there. Love you guys. Chibi out.